Our next speaker is Gautier Debaecker from CCIN2P3, and his talk is entitled Integration of iRODS in a Federated IT Service through HTTP and Python API.
So it's okay or no? Yeah, okay. So hello everyone. So yeah, I'm Gautier. I will be talking to you about the integration of iRODS, so in a distributed storage system through the HTTP and Python API. So let's make a short resume. I will talk to you a little bit about my lab and then about the project we have there. So it's a Federated IT Service. So we just call it FITS for after that. So I will just talk a little bit about the project, what this project is, and why we choose to use iRODS and how we use iRODS in it. And finally, I will present to you two interface we have developed in the lab. So one is with the Python API, and the second one is the new HTTP API. So let's begin with the lab. So yeah, it's a photo of our lab. In fact, just yesterday you saw the surf, so it's our, it's bigger. So it's not a competition, but so yeah, we are situated in Lyon, in France. So we're part of the CNRS, the National Center for Research, Scientific Research, and we are specified in research in high energy physics, nuclear physics, and astroparticle. So we are the calculating center of this institute. And so we provide informatics supports for all the projects that we working with. So with many collaboration in France, but also international. And I will show you after that, even outer space. So we have two computing rooms with 2,000 server and 800 virtual server. And we have a total amount of storage of 360 petaoctet. So as I was saying, we have many projects, as you can see, in France, everywhere in the world, but also in space with some satellites. So it's quite fun to have them. So it's all for the lab. It was just, yeah. Let's talk a little bit about this FITS project. So this FITS project is a collaboration with the French HPC Idris, sorry. So what is it? It's like, it's a collaboration for sharing the storage and the calculate resource of the two labs. So it's to reduce the ecological impact and also measuring it. So the part I would want to talk to you about today is the storage part. So what is it? For our user, they have to be a simple way to access the data. If it's in Paris, so at Idris, or if it's at Lyon, they doesn't need to know it, but they just want to access it. And so for that, we choose iRODS because it was already well implemented in our lab in the CC. So pretty well implemented. As you can see, we have 27 zones with more than 1,000 users, 100 groups, million and million of files, and 44 petaoctet of data. And it's still growing very fast. So for this project, we see that we got different needs for different users. And so the good part is they all need the same thing. They all want something durable and robust. But some of them want to implement them in a pipeline or script. Some of them are okay to connect with password, but some of them prefer to use token identification. Some of them, and we still accept them, they want to use Windows. So we have to find a solution for this. And so we have to adapt to all our user needs. So some can install things, some want to access their data from the web. So we think of free usage. So the classic e-commands that I think everyone here know. So the Python graphical interface that we develop and a graphical web interface using the HTTP API. So let's first look at the classic e-command. So the advantage is they are well implemented in our lab. I mean, as you have seen before, they are pretty robust. We can easily implement them in script or pipeline for the user. And there is the official support of the consortium. That's pretty cool. But we still have problem with this. We can't use identity and access manager to connect to iRODS for the moment. I mean, with the e-command. There is no more official Windows support for iRODS, and we still have some users who are on iRODS, oh no, Windows, sorry. It can be complicated for beginner to use the e-command because it's like a new language for them. But when you have a user who almost don't know how to use terminal, it can be complicated. And for them, for the very beginner, there is no interface, graphical interface for using these e-commands. So what we are thinking of was to use the a Python interface to make it easier for our user. So why we have done that? So for making it fast, to make it easy for the user, so it can automate some task. We also add the auto completion because with the e-command we don't have the auto completion, and when you tap eput or something like this, sometimes it can be complicated. And also it can bring iRODS to Windows user. So we have here the link for the GitHub of the interface. So we have done this interface by 3 steps. So the first step was to still use the e-command, but wrap them inside the Python script. So the user can just run the Python script and do almost all the same thing as the e-command. So, and also for the auto completion, sorry, I keep some information in local, so like the tree structure, the metadata they use, and so they can reuse them later for the auto completion. And so the advantage of this is we still using the e-command, so we have the advantage of the e-command, so the power, the speed. It's pretty easy to use. I don't know if you can read it, but you just have to call the script and say what you want to do, and it will just do it. There is not really installation to do because we do the installation during the first run, so the script installs itself, and it's built like a library, so you can just take some of the functionality and implement them on your script or your pipeline. But as we still use the e-command, there's still no use for the Windows user, still no graphic interface, and still no EM identification. So we just put a graphical interface on it. So we still use the previous script, but we put Tekinder on it. So Tekinder is a basic Python graphical interface, so there is no more installation. It became very beginner friendly, but we still have some problems. So because we're still using the e-command, so no Windows and no EM identification. And as it's graphic interface, sorry, it can be implemented in NovaScript, sorry. But so you have something like this, so you can push your data, you can get them back, you can create collection, you can remove them, of course. You can play with the metadata also, so you can attach metadata to your data, you can remove them, you can see what metadata is attached. You can search by name, so if you know the name of your data, you can just make a research like the e-locate or something like this. But you can also search your data by the metadata, so you just have to put what metadata you want, and they will just show you which data are with this metadata. But we still have this problem for Windows users that still can't use them because it's still based on the e-command. So what we have done is rewrite all the scripts with the Python API. So no, we didn't need anymore the e-command. It's Windows friendly. and we have benchmarked it, and it was almost as the same speed to send data than the e-command. So it's not, we didn't lose anything, but we still don't have the EM identification. So, but it's a problem of the Python API for the moment. So we are still trying to work on it. And so to resolve this problem, we are thinking of using the HTTP API. So for this project, we have this. So Fit, it's a portal, a web portal that connects to the EM service, with also connect to the storage. And I will just show you a little bit, but we have 3 different roles, so 3 different users. So a simple user, an research institute user admin, so it's like the chef of the project, and us, the dev, the super admin. So you have something like this. You can have different information, and you have different information about your data on iRODS. So you can have the size, all your data, and you can have some stats we get with the API. So like how many space you use, all your different projects, and for the super admin, all the different projects on your zone. So, and so the good point is that with the HTTP API, we can connect. Sorry, I forget delete. We can connect it to so what I calling IAM service. It's like Keycloak with EduGain or something like that. So you don't need to put your password anymore for accessing iRODS. And yeah, so to make a little recap of this, so we have the authentication from Keycloak or Digo IAM for the moment. So we have this triad portal IAM iRODS who are communicating between them. So this allows us to have an easy collection tree consultation. We have the different stats. We can add or consume metadata, and they didn't need installation for the user because it's just a web portal. We have encountered some problems that you almost resolve all of them with the new updates. But one of the problems is it's still not optimal to send data through the navigator, the Explorer, sorry, because like when you want to send 1 terabyte of data from Firefox or Chrome, it can cause some problem. So to conclude, I would say that yeah, we got this project, Sofits, where we choose to use iRODS for the storage parts, and we have different usage. So the classic iRODS command that can be used by developer or people who know how to use them. We have the Python API, which is almost close to the e-command, but still more easy to use for them, and they can use it on Windows. And we finally have this project of HTTP API where we can connect through EAM. So what's next? We want to propose the token identification, so the EAM authentication, maybe for the e-command, I don't know, it will be on your parts, or for the Python API. We want to offer a turnkey e-command pipeline for new users, so people can still use, because we have the e-command installed in our server, so maybe you can propose them over pipeline with the e-command. Personally, I want to enrich the Python script with new functionality, like if there is a cut during the download, the upload of the data, say it to the user and say it's corrupt and retry or something like this. We want to try to adapt so a way to send data from the web, so with the HTTP API. And if the user have some need or something like this, adapt to them. So thank you for your time. If you have any question.
All right. Got a question up top.
Hi. How do you use the roles and let's say scopes that come from the identity manager inside the HTTP API package?
So I didn't develop these parts, but of what I understand, it's we have this key clock and we synchronize it. So we have the role in iRODS
Mhm.
and we give so also in key clock, and so it's synchronized between it. So like someone who is say as super user in key clock will see everything on the iRODS parts of the website, but someone we say to be like on one project, he will only see this project and not everything or thing like this.
Okay, thank you.
I have a follow-up question for that. So, and you say that you synchronize the roles between the key cloak and the iRODS. It's me.
Absolutely.
So you said that you synchronize the roles between the key cloak and the iRODS, right? And I would like to know where you synchronize it. So there is an external script somewhere, some cron script which does it.
It's on the so it's the application team that have done the Symfony portal, and it's done on this Symfony portal.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
Any other questions? All right.